Hey everybody, I'm Justin Bohn.
And I'm Mike Val.
And this is the Bohn N Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bohn N Zano Zone podcast, presented by BuddiesProShop.com.
Justin, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yesterday I actually went into New York City. One of my buddies, Tom Russo, had an engagement session in Central Park.
How was that? How was New York?
It was actually pretty good. We only went into Central Park. We actually parked right outside of it, and there were scarce masks and more people than I thought, but definitely less than normal.
So nothing like it normally is in New York, basically.
No, it's definitely a lot less crowded, but there were still definitely people out. Yesterday was a really nice day in the city, so there were a lot of people enjoying it.
Awesome. So we got a lot of stuff in store here. So we got a good show today.
Yep.
First time we're going to have. Now we've had duos on the show before.
Yes.
We've never had a husband and wife on before. So this is going to be a first.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
I'm excited for this one. And Monday, we are going to be starting our game show.
Yes.
Which will be Monday, and we will have the final 4 contestants selected tonight. And I'm excited for Monday because we have the celebrity side of the bracket. Chuck Gardner and Tim Mack will be going head-to-head in bowling trivia.
On Monday at 6 o'clock right here. I'm super excited, Mike.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Timmy's promising to bring the fire, so God only knows what's going to come out of his mouth and the stories we'll hear. So that's going to be all next week. We are going to have our contestants selected today. But I think without any further ado, Justin, I want to bring the guests on because they are two of the most busiest people in the business, and I don't want to keep them waiting anymore.
All right, short one right here for our trivia contest next week. Every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 6 o'clock will be our show.
Correct. All right, so
now go ahead.
So, like I said, this is going to be a first. So we've never had a husband and a wife duo joining us. So I couldn't think of a better one to make them to have as the first one. So ladies first. I'm going to do the lady first. Obviously, right, Justin?
Have to.
No, sorry to Gary, but the lady goes first. So one of the greatest women to ever throw a ball down a lane. We have a 27-time titleist, which is third all-time in the PWBA history. She's earned over $1 million on tour. A former Rookie of the Year, 3-time High Average Award winner, 3-time Player of the Year, a 5-time winner at the USBC Women's Championships. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yawn. She's done it all. Hall of Famer in 2008. The first of the duo, the great Leanne Hulsenberg. Welcome, Leanne.
As we bring Gary on as he covers his face.
And as we bring in the better half of the duo.
We can't hear you guys, though.
Oh, you can't hear us?
We have no bond with you.
Oh, God. So we spelled your name wrong in.
Can't hear you.
Justin?
I mean, nope. You just muted yourself, Mike.
We think we're muted. Can you
Justin?
hear us?
Yes, we can hear you guys.
We can hear you guys.
Yeah.
We can hear each other, I hope.
I can hear you guys loud and clear. Oh, my God. What are we doing, Justin?
Well, do you want to let them try and figure out their audio issues and you introduce Gary?
Yeah, we'll let them do that. So I'll introduce Gary. Okay. As we can see, the better half of the duo is Gary Hulsenberg. Oh, are they going to leave and come back in? Justin, I'm going to call this the curse of Randy.
Okay. The internet issues striking.
Yes. The internet issues striking and the curse of Randy, we're going to call this.
Okay.
All right. So let's do Gary's intro. A lifer.
I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna call you guys back because we have no.
Okay.
We have no.
Let's give him a thumbs up, Justin, so we can.
All right.
Got it. So again, little technical difficulties.
It happens.
It does happen. So I guess I have to do Leanne's intro again. She didn't hear it.
Well, when she comes back, yes.
When she comes back, yes.
So
but anyway, let's talk really quick what we're doing for Monday. Are they back? Are they back already?
Are they?
Well, they can. Our audience can hear us. They can't hear them. So Monday, we will start the contest at 6 o'clock. It will be the two celebrities going at it. And for anybody that doesn't know what's going on, so we have the questions pre-made, and they have come from the PBA's website. They've come from bowl.com and from Google. So to anybody who is thinking they're going to be in the contest, the advice that I would give, Justin, is to refresh your knowledge on the records of the PBA and the history of the PBA and such like that. That's where the questions are coming from.
Yep. So if you want to be a part of it and you're going to be a part of it, we have one of the guys right in the comments already in the show.
John Dansbury is already a contestant on the show. He has locked up his spot. Yep. And it looks like the Hulsenbergs are back. You want to bring them back or you want to do the intro? Can they hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay. So, Justin, I'm going to do the intro again.
Go right ahead.
So we're going to do ladies first. Well, that's how it is here. We respect the ladies first. We have a 27-time titleist, third on the all-time list. He won over $1 million in her career. Former Rookie of the Year, 3-time high average winner, a 3-time Player of the Year, a former 5-time winner at the Women's USBC Open Championships. Blah blah blah. Yawn. She's done it all. Inducted into the USBC Hall of Fame in 2008. It is our pleasure to welcome the great Leanne Hulsenberg. That is the first one of the duo. Hello, Leanne. Welcome. And now for her better half, a true lifer in the bowling industry. He has been around the business for what I think is most of his life. Currently, the VP of Business Development for Storm Bowling Products. I don't know exactly what that is, but we're going to find that out in a little bit. He is the director of the Storm Youth Championships, which will be taking place shortly. This summer. When you think of Storm and all the bigwigs there, this is one of the first guys that comes to mind. He is the host of the world famous Morning Bolt Show and the Beat the Bolt Show, which personally, Justin and I should be contestants on Beat the Bolt. It is our pleasure to welcome Gary Hulsenberg. Hello, Team Hulsenberg. How are you guys?
Hey, guys.
Yeah, we're super good. Thanks for having us. Sorry about the audio issue. We didn't know. We were all in the pregame. We were there, ready. And then all of a sudden, boom, no audio. We couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear us.
We're going to call that the curse of Randy. So we had Randy on 2 weeks ago, Justin, or it was last week we had Randy? Last week.
Yes, last week, last Tuesday.
And it was awful internet, and long story short, it was about 20 minutes, and we haven't heard from Randy since. So for any technical problems, we're just going to call the curse of Randy around here.
Okay.
So
we're good.
So how are you guys? Let's start there. How are things in Utah with the pandemic? How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. Utah hasn't been largely affected. You know, we're not on mandatory lockdown when everyone else was. Everyone kind of just did their thing and stayed home and all that stuff. And there were very few cases. There are really very few cases in our area. We're in northern Utah. We're about an hour north of Salt Lake. Salt Lake had a lot of cases. It started at the end of like the ski season, you know, like end of January, February. So there's a lot of tourists that come into Salt Lake and go to Park City. So I think that area started it for us, but our area up here has been very lightly hit. So we're good.
Are things open there, or there's no restrictions like with businesses and bowling centers are open in Utah?
There's some restrictions, but not quite, I don't know, as limiting as other parts of the country from what we see on the news. To give you an example, where we live in the last week, Leanne looked it up, and there's been 0 new cases of COVID. It doesn't mean that it's gone away or anything. It just, I don't know. There's just not a lot of business like traveling in and out of our area. It doesn't happen very frequently, and it's a smaller community, I guess. So
yeah.
Luckily, we've been really safe and able to come to Storm HQ every day and enjoy being with our awesome teammates. We still practice social distancing and all the things we're supposed to do while at work. So, yeah.
It's good to hear.
So, Justin, I'm going to start it off, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
So, I'm going to start off with Gary. I have a question just for Gary. So, we all know you as one of like the big wigs over in Storm, right? We all know, we think of Storm, we think of Gary. He's one of the top guys up there. So, what I would like to know, and everybody else, I guess, who was Gary pre-Storm? We know you bowled for a while on tour. I know you bowled for a while on tour. You had a couple top 24s, you know, yada, yada, yada. But what made you, I guess, stop the bowling side of it and really focus more on the industry side of it?
Well, I'm a terrible bowler, and so obviously bowling's not I love it. I've done it since I've been 8 years old, and I've always played at a decent level, but not a really great level. And so, bowling for a living, not much of an option for me. But I have a passion for the sport. I think it's a great sport. I think it's a sport people can do for their entire life. And I liken it to golf or something like tennis, to where if you learn the fundamentals and learn the sport, you can play it from a kid all the way till you're a senior. And I think that's the coolest thing about our sport. I just think it's awesome that you can enjoy it your whole life. So.
And so
I don't
what
think
were
you answered his question.
That was my answer. Yeah.
well, no, I mean he partly answered the question. So what were you pre-Storm, Gary? So were you always in the industry? Were you an investment
talk about it.
banker, an accountant? What were you?
I did have some banking. So
Yeah.
like I spent 6 years at Wells Fargo Bank and out in California and Arizona, and that was fun. I got out of that and back into bowling, and because of waking up every day, I just trying to be passionate about what you do every day.
Can't stay away from bowling.
I know. Like, I don't know. I've always been one of those guys. My dad worked really, really hard. And I can't say that he totally loved his job, but he was very successful at it. And he did really well for his family financially. But he didn't wake up every day and be like, right on, I'm going to work. And that's what we have now here at Storm anyway, is that we're super happy to wake up in the morning and go to work. And I can't think of a better job, and my job is really odd. I mean,
He does a little bit of everything.
It's a little bit of everything. I'm responsible for our staff, so all of our staff, we have a large staff worldwide, and all our media. So you guys know Blair Blumenscheid, so I kind of oversee what happens with the social media, the communications, tournaments and events. Just there's a lot of different things that I do, so it's never boring. For sure.
So you wear a lot of hats. That's basically what you're doing.
Yeah. And then we have great teammates. So like Leanne really does all the tournaments and events, and Blair really does all the media. But somehow I'm responsible somehow for it. I don't know how. But as long as they're doing it, I don't really have to worry.
So you're just kind of like you're in charge. You just dictate basically.
No,
he makes sure we're working.
I do not dictate.
He's a good leader.
I am in it as much as everyone. Like, I will carry the boxes. I will set things up. I will learn how to do things. And so I equally participate in all of our business activities.
Yeah, and because Storm does so many things, he before he came to work for Storm, and before I even met him, he was a salesman for Ebonite a long time ago. And then he had a really good pro shop in Sacramento at Steve Cook's Fireside Lanes. And that was when we were first married, and we had just had our little boy. So we had a baby. And then the opportunity came up to move to Utah and come work for Storm. And it was it was a job for me. It was a marketing coordinator job opened up. And I told Roger, who hired me, I said, well, we can't really move to Utah for, my job, like we have two jobs, and so they said, well, have Gary send his resume. And, they were growing very much at the time. And so they decided to hire us both, which was good for us because we were in California and we were kind of looking to maybe try to get in a better spot. California is very expensive, and to bring up a young baby, at our age and everything. So moving to Utah was a great opportunity for us. And then it kind of turned into a really great opportunity just working for Storm. And, he's kind of evolved. He started, like helping with a lot of things, but mainly his job is like the bridge between sales and marketing, because Storm does so many things. And so his department and his, he kind of helps out everywhere. So he wears many hats.
Hey, was I supposed to answer that question, or was that Leanne to answer it for me?
You can't talk about yourself.
Well, the wife is always right, Gary?
Absolutely.
Just
I just think No one really knows, like, he's done a lot of things. So,
Mhm.
he has a lot of bowling experience, like you said, and he's done it on it kind of every level. So he kind of gets it. So,
And Gary, you can't say you're a bad player if you made the top 24 on tour a couple times. So you can't cut yourself short.
Yeah. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
So
I've watched and been around all the really great players like Justin's dad, and I can tell you there's such a difference between that level and a good player, right? Like I've won at the regional level before, but
Okay.
winning at the PBA regional level is not anything near what a Leanne and a Parker and these amazing players. So yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good with being like the 205 average league bowler right now. That's solid. I'm in. I'm in. And if on SYC oil patterns, put me down for about $1.85 probably. Yeah.
all right. And Gary, back to what you were saying about if that was a Leanne question or a Gary question. I'm gonna say you answered it, but Leanne just added on to it. I think that's a good way to.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There you go.
All right, so I'm gonna go on to an actual question for Leanne. Obviously, she's had such an
Can I
illustrious
answer it?
bowling career, one of the most successful women of the history of the sport. So before we get into how you got into bowling, there's actually a video that I want to share from
uh-oh.
this past year at the Senior World Championships when you and Tish won the gold for doubles. You haven't seen it, and I will show you the full video at some point, but I'm going to show you your part.
I'm relieved. That was so much stress. I had a massive headache, and we pulled through. So it is a little bit of redemption from a couple of years ago, but it's always an honor to work with a Hall of Famer, and of course, great help for the
So, with that being said, how did you get into the sport?
It was a family sport for us. I grew up in Fremont, California. My dad bowled and my mom bowled, and my brother and I bowled youth leagues at Cloverleaf Family Bowl in Fremont, and that's what we did. I grew up in the bowling center, and we had a great program in Northern California, like they still do today, and that was just similar to you guys. We just were a bowling family.
All right.
So, guys, really quick. So, we're running a little bit of a contest next week on our show. And I mentioned to Gary, we're doing like a little game show. So, we're fielding our contestants through asking a question today. So, we're going to ask a question related to Storm. We're not going to answer it now. Gary and Leanne, you can answer it later on in the show if you don't mind. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask the question to our audience, and they can type the answer into our chat log. So, Storm has been around for years and years and years. The question is, what is the first bowling ball Storm made was scented, and what was the scent? Fair enough. I know the answer to it. I'm sure you guys know the answer to it as well.
I have no idea.
Do we? Do we know the answer to that?
Well, he said we don't have to answer it now, so I can go Google it.
Correct. You can Google it and whatnot. But
yeah, or just Google it.
Exactly. You can Google it, but that is the question today. So the question is, what was the first Storm ball made that was scented, and what was the scent?
We'll provide that answer later.
Thank you, Gary. That's what we're looking for. So, back to Gary. How did you meet Leanne? How did this wonderful marriage or relationship start?
We 2004.
A business partner and myself went. We were doing a WIBC convention in Wichita, Kansas, and so we had known Kim Terrell at the time, Kim Terrell Kearney now, and we were like, let's have a couple of ladies in our booth that are like awesome, and so we asked them if they would do an appearance at this event in our booth, and they said yes, and then we kind of all went out to dinner, and that's kind of how that started.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, were you still bowling at that time, Gary, or you were just more of just the?
No, well, I mean, I've always bowled, but this was a different chapter in my life, and yeah. So, yeah, we had a business that.
The weird thing was we knew all the same people, but we didn't know each other. Like I knew all the people he knew, and he knew all the people I knew, and we were living in the same area, but we had never met each other. I had bowled a mixed doubles tournament with his brother before I ever met him. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there you have it.
That's it.
And then, of course, because of my obvious good looks and charm, she was just like
you floored her.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Of course. I mean, yeah. I mean, Justin. I mean, there's no doubt about it, right?
No doubt.
No, none.
All right, so I'm gonna get into my next one, and this one is all junior bowling. So Leanne, you started the Youth Bowlers Tour in California, and you guys also started the SYC, which, by the way, for those of you who don't follow junior bowling, the next SYC in Smyrna, July 24th to 26th, sold out in minutes. So you can tell by selling out in minutes that this tournament is a pretty good one to bowl. So my question to you guys is, how did it all start? Why did it start? And what was your vision for the future of youth bowling?
You want to start, or you want me to tell it?
Start with you and Mike's tournament.
Well, the Youth Bowlers Tour, we started with a buddy of mine I grew up in his family's bowling center. So Mike Hillman and I, we've been friends since we were junior bowlers. And in Northern California, the current traveling tournament club at that time had kind of gone down a little bit. And so we decided to start one. And we did this little fundraising thing and started with some funds. And now we've given away hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships. And it's a total volunteer group. We don't make any money on it. And we have 100, 125 kids every month. And it's a great thing. And we have superstars like Michael and Darren Tang and who else?
J-Lo.
Jennifer Laredo and let's see, Amanda Fry and lots. We just have a lot of good NorCal bowlers that have gone on to, a good profession, good, success.
And I want to add something very quickly because I think it's very important is that Leanne and Mike, who are lifelong friends, they started to do it for all the right reasons. None of it has to do with financial gain. In fact, I always joke, I go, how much do we spend this month on the tournament? Because they do it from such a pure heart, which is, I think it's so cool because giving back to the next generation of bowlers is how we would probably grow bowling, right? And so having people like Mike and Leanne out there that started that organization, and then Storm allowed us to then, when we started here, we wanted to do a youth thing, and Bill and Barbara Chrisman said, yeah, we're in, let's do it. And that's another thing that people probably don't know is that it costs Storm money every time we do an event, right?
Yeah.
There's no finances coming in to offset what our expenses are. And all the entry goes back to the participants. So there's nothing in it for us outside of doing something good for youth bowling, I guess is what I'm saying. And having owners like Bill and Barbara allowing us to do it is really cool.
It kind of spawned from, we sponsored Junior Gold a couple years, probably 5-6 years ago. And we all went there but it was so overwhelming because it was such a big event and it was really hard to connect with kids and families. I mean, it was just so huge being a great event. And we thought we should do some small events, kind of like a little, it's like field program boutique, or, like
boutique national.
There's so many people at Storm that have a lot of knowledge and things that they could share with these kids. And we just decided to have, some smaller tournaments where we could connect with people.
That's really good to hear. I can say that after helping my dad and my mom, well, more so my mom than my dad, but running my dad's tournament this year, it's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into it, and a lot of people really don't know it. So I'm gonna say, from a competitor, spectator, whatever you want to call it, thank you for running these events, because you guys put on a show, and it's really fun for everybody to watch.
Thanks, Justin. We enjoy them, and we've certainly gotten to know a lot of the great families and youth bowlers out there. And we love when we get new entries, you know, then we can meet more people. And we were really surprised that Smyrna sold out as quickly as it did. So yeah, that was crazy.
Hey, do you want the behind the scenes Smyrna deal? I could tell you a secret.
Sure.
So we sold out. It was actually less than 1 minute on Monday, and here's why. We went in and studied the website analytics to find out why did this happen so fast, because we weren't really sure, to be honest. We didn't know if it would sell out because of the pandemic. Like, we didn't know how demand would be. And so when we went in and looked, at the time registration opened, there were 1,100 people trying to get into a field that was a 150 person field.
It was crazy.
Wow.
And so that's obviously, we were like, wow. And then we fielded, mainly Leanne fielded people that were disappointed. Some phone calls came in saying, we were in 2 minutes and it sold out. And Leanne was like, I am so sorry.
There was a lot of crummy phone calls.
Our intent is never to turn anyone away, but we also do enjoy having the field size being somewhat controllable, especially now during the pandemic, because you can only have so many people in a bowling center at a time. So for every athlete bowling, there's going to be 2 spectators or more behind them, and you can only put so many people safely in a bowling center. So we just had to say, here we got 150 people, and you know, it was I don't know. Yeah. We wish that we could accommodate everyone, but we can't currently do that safely. And so we're excited to go to Smyrna. We're excited for the 150 people that will be competing, the athletes, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Justin, we'll see you there.
Team Bohn will be there, right?
I am.
Yes.
I'm more excited for the fact that I got into the tournament, let alone going to bowl it. I mean, the fact that you guys sold out in less than a minute is
crazy
to even think about. But I know I'm excited to get back on the lanes and compete again. I bowled for about 3 weeks up at Uncle Doug and Aunt Chrissy's and haven't really bowled since. And I'm itching to get back on the lanes today. I actually put on a jersey. I have on one of my buddies' jerseys.
Go practice.
And yes, I was just like, you know, I just want to put a jersey on today. And
well, we can't practice here. All the centers are still shut down here in Jersey.
That's terrible.
So, yeah, we're still we're still kind of on lockdown. Yeah, exactly. We do.
Especially with the amount of centers in surrounding areas that are open.
Yeah.
Like, I know that there's a place just over the New Jersey, Pennsylvania border that's about to open next week. And when you think about it, we're 45 minutes or an hour from like the beach in New Jersey to that place in Pennsylvania. The fact that place is allowed to be open and the centers in New Jersey aren't. I mean, there's centers in Delaware open, Connecticut open now. People are within driving distance, and it doesn't matter how far away it is.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you an example, Gary, you were there last summer at Bowlerama down in Delaware. People from here, from our area, I live right in by Justin's area. They're driving an hour and a half to Delaware just to go open bowl. I mean, that's how we're itching here. I mean, people are just yeah, we are, but and, you know, but
we all are.
We all are. So hopefully they're opening up soon, right?
Hopefully.
We need them open.
So let's go to the next one, Justin. I believe you have another one.
I do.
You do.
Oh God, let me look. Okay, so what do you both think the biggest thing is for junior bowling to keep striving in today's world?
I don't know. That's a hard question, because I think youth bowling, junior bowling is the greatest thing in our industry right now, right? I mean, you can see it with all of our tournaments. I mean, like even just our little tournament and junior gold has grown so much. So I think it really is the best thing going. Youth bowling and collegiate bowling are where it's at for bowling right now. So I think we just need to keep everyone bowling as an adult, basically, right?
just continue that wave from every single kid that bowls a youth event to continue on to whatever the next level is, whether it's just as small as an adult league, and just continue to grow those numbers.
I'd like to just add one quick thing to that first too, is that the USBC and Chad Murphy have done just a very great job of kind of growing the sport through Junior Gold, and they've done an amazing job, and it's a very hard job. And on top of that, I think the most important thing that I ever witnessed at an event, and this would be kind of where you, Justin, come in, because I see you and your friends all the time doing this. You include other kids that are there bowling the event and make them feel welcome. And because you do that, that makes them excited to come back to another event and tell their friends about it. So the way that you represent our sport at events, you and your friends, I've seen it firsthand. You do such a good job of bringing others into your circle, and that will grow our sport. That will make people want to do it more frequently.
It's all the networking, Justin. You do a great job of that. You do. Even on your social media, you are fantastic with that stuff.
You're a great ambassador for our sport. So
and it's
doing that.
It's a shame that these events weren't here when I was bowling in junior. I bowled juniors 20 years ago, and I went to Junior Gold, or Junior Olympic Gold, as it was called back in the day. And it was never to the level it is now. It's just a shame that we didn't have the SYCs and all that stuff yesteryear. I mean, it would have been great, but it's good it's here now, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
I think what's good about bowling is that bowlers really give back to the sport. That's what I've noticed, and of all my friends and everything, like Parker and Leslie run their own tournament and they give back to the sport. Chuck Gardner gives back to the sport. People here give back to the sport. Like everyone wants to stay involved, and they give their time and they give their energy and they do good things to keep the sport going, because we're all in it together.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really cool to see the amount of people that actually want to try and run events. We look at it in our area alone. There's 40 weekends out of the year that we can bowl a tournament on Saturday and Sunday. And it's crazy to think about. Like, starting in September, we have my dad's tournament, the Billy Gasson team tournament, Danny Wiseman's tournament, SYC, Bowl for Life in like a 2-month span.
Oh, and then you go to Malaysia. Don't forget Malaysia.
Well, that's a whole other place. That's a whole other story. But just in our area alone, in that 10-hour span, right? There's 6 events in 2 months that are pretty large events. And I think that's one of the coolest things for sure. Seeing, as a youth bowler anyway, seeing all these huge events being ran.
Yeah, I love it.
So you guys you're one hell of a team. I mean, you guys really are. The both of you are just fantastic. You share the same passion, which is great. But what is it like to work together on a daily basis?
I think
do you drive to the office together, or do you take separate cars?
Sometimes.
We do sometimes drive to the office, but we do. Leanne is what I would consider one of the most diligent workers. Like, when she is focused on something, she is totally into it, 100%. Probably the reason she was so great at bowling on tour, because her focus is really good. And so I'm all over the place in different meetings at work. So there will be many days where we don't often chat much. Today we actually had lunch together with Blair.
We did, yeah.
And we went in the conference room and had a sandwich, and she had a salad. And we chatted, just fun stuff. And then I went into a meeting, and then she knocked on the meeting door and said, "Gary, we need to go do this broadcast." I said, "Okay."
We're like we're total opposites though. Like at work, like he's very creative, and I'm very do the stuff. Like if there's a list of things to do, I will get them done, and he kind of creates the big picture. And so
Gary's the artist, so he's the artist basically.
Kind of, and then I fill everything in, that needs to be done, and like. I'm already trying to book flights for a future event. And he's like, wait a minute, we haven't even talked about. And I'm like, wow, we got to do them. They're cheap right now. We got to do them.
Oh, absolutely.
but we go like this a lot, and it's not personal. It's just that we try to, because often it's just he and I that work on the same project. So, you know, you have to play devil's advocate a lot. So usually he gets mad at me because I'm like, I don't think we can do that. I don't think we should do this. And so
I'm much more aggressive when it comes to business. So like example, SYC Smyrna, I was like, we gotta do a tournament. We gotta do a tournament.
And I said, I don't
Leanne's
think
like,
we should do a
wait
tournament.
Wait a minute. And Blair was like, I don't think so. And so I'm like pushing to get the event on the schedule, make it happen. And now that Leanne and Blair are like, that's great. Let's do a tournament.
All right.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of kids. I know I'm one of them, but there are definitely a lot of kids itching to get back to bowling.
Everybody,
Yes, we can
everybody
see
is.
that.
And even Dad said it like 2 or 3 weeks in. He said, you know, as soon as places start to open up again, there are going to be tournaments popping up all over the place out of nowhere. And
Yep.
someone just asked me today, they said, what do you have coming up? I was like, oh, I don't have anything coming up until like the end of July. And they're like, oh, really? I thought you bowled more tournaments than that. I'm like, well, as soon as everything opens, I'll probably be going every weekend without a doubt.
All right. So
For sure, they're going to fill in as soon as everything gets going. You're going to be on the road again.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys are both in the industry, right? So been in the business for years. What would you tell someone who is looking to break into the industry and maybe or have a career change and get into the bowling business somehow? What would your advice be for somebody like that?
I think you mean, would it be for a youth player, like a youth athlete that wants to do it after college? Or
How about we give you this scenario? Justin's going to graduate high school next year, and so what would your advice be for Justin to bring in? And I'm 37 with a heavy sales background. What would you tell the two of us if we wanted to break into the business?
So two different things. Justin's going to go and get his college.
He's going to go to college.
Study what he's going to study and learn what he's going to learn. And,
he's going into video production. He's going to be a movie maker. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The
Justin Spielberg.
The thing I would tell Justin Spielberg there is that there are opportunities everywhere. Life is full of opportunities. So don't listen to people that say that there are not opportunities, because there are opportunities and you can create your own path. And I will tell you, Matt McNeil is one of our newer teammates to Storm, maybe a year and a half on the job now. Yeah, just over a year and a half. And that came out of a conversation that Matt and I had. And I said, Matt, here's an idea. You write your own job description and you send it to me and I'll see what I could do. And that's how Matt got hired at Storm and has a full-time career with Storm. Is it came from, if you're open-minded, you can create your own path in this world. And so I think that for any youth player, always approach it with a sense of optimism. Mike, for you at 37, then obviously there's life experiences, and how do you fit into the team? I could say, like, for our little family-owned company, Storm, it's about a team environment all the time. It's never about an individual. It's never about it's almost never about sales. It's always about doing what's right and connecting with people. So our business is founded on kind of that belief that we're going to go out and we're going to do what's right every single day. And hopefully we have people that like us and want to support us by virtue buying our products. And I would say that there's tons of opportunities for people in the middle of their career as well. It may not be as many opportunities as what you would see in like a tech industry or something like that. But like for us, we're the bowlers company. So pretty much everyone that's up here we bowl at some level. We're somewhat competitive at bowling. And I think that is important when we're developing our products, that we do things with the bowlers, you have
the bowler's best interest at heart.
We do. Leanne, what can you add to my lengthy?
To your positive motivational speaking, I always think bowling is a very small industry, and people think there's just all this opportunity, and I feel lucky because I don't really think there's a lot of jobs in bowling. I mean, there's less companies than there used to be, and it's a very small industry. So the only thing that I have learned from being in the industry for 30 some odd years as a professional, is that to be respectful of others, and to even, we have an industry that's, the companies are always buying, all that, there's different companies and stuff. But really, I think if you're respectful to everybody and you meet people and you shake hands and get to know people, no matter who they work for, and you build a good reputation in bowling, that you really can end up wherever you want. Because I was with one company my whole career, basically, and things changed and opportunity happened, and now I have a great job at Storm, and I can give back to bowling through Storm, which is great for me. And it's, I think, just because I've always been friends with Bill and Barb, even when I didn't throw Storm bowling balls, I've always said thank you. I've always been respectful of them. So young people need to know that there's a lot of opportunities, and they need to just be respectful of the elders in the sport and get to know people and do good things, and people will notice you.
That's great stuff. So, Gary, my resume will be in your inbox tomorrow morning, okay?
I'll look forward to it.
Be creative.
Oh, and that's the thing,
be creative.
And you know what? I look at it this way, and I'm going to go off the path. I think Justin's muted for a sec. I wanted to break into the business somehow, and there's no, it's always like right place, right time, but there's always a need for somebody that's, I'm not going to say a fan, but somebody that has this in their blood. It's their passion. And that's what the industry needs. They need more people like a Matt McNeil, right? That lives, breathes, and dies this sport. And that's what's good for it, from the business side and from the playing side of it as well. So
sure.
Thank
You're
you for the advice.
correct.
There's one thing that I want to add to that. Mom just popped in and sent me this picture. And back to how you said, it's always good to know people in the industry and get to know people. This is how long that I've known Leanne.
I think you were like 1 week old, right?
Wow.
Probably.
Yeah, we met at your dad's favorite restaurant, either Perkins or Bob Evans. I can't remember, and we Kim and I met your mom and dad and you, and we had breakfast together. And all I remember about you is you had a big old head of black hair. You had so much hair when you were a baby, and you were the cutest little baby. So I'm proud to have known you all the way since then.
Yeah, so that's knowing people in this industry.
He's a handsome rascal, isn't he?
One big
Sure
family.
is.
All right, so Justin, let's throw it to the end.
Yep. So this is what we do at the end of our show. This is what we call 10 frames of questions. We go one-on-one with Mike, and basically anything goes. So we like to hear stories. We like to hear the guts.
Within reason, though, Justin. Yeah. This is not going to be anything bad. So this will be a kind of a different one. So in doing some homework about you guys, the first question, I found that you guys are very big into music and going to concerts and all that good stuff, correct? 3 artists.
I've gone to a few.
Yep. 3 artists, living or dead, that you would like to see live.
Is this both of us answering, or what?
Yeah, you both answer it correct. You're separate people on these.
Oh. I would love to take Leanne to another Michael Bublé concert because she loves Michael Bublé.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah, and she loves that. So I would do that. I would Billy Joel for me.
Ooh, nice.
And I've seen Green Day
a lot
of times, but I would see Green Day one more time in my life.
That's what you said last time we saw.
That's what I said the last time we saw.
And you said that to
Green
Jason
Day is
Morgan.
His favorite band.
All right.
Yeah.
Jason. We love Jason.
1 year we went to 4 concerts. We went to Green Day in Sacramento, The Killers, which is a great band, and we saw them in Sacramento. And then we saw Michael Bublé and Josh Groban. So 4 concerts, total opposite. But I would agree Billy Joel would be great. I love Billy Joel, and maybe Elton John. I would love to go see an Elton John concert. And
I saw Billy Joel a couple of years ago at Madison Square Garden. A customer actually gave me tickets to see him, and he was fantastic. He 3 hours, a little over 3 hours. He's phenomenal. So let's go to number 2. What is your favorite bowling memory?
That's probably, well, I don't know. I can't speak for him, but I would speak for our family and say when I won the US Open in Dallas Cowboy Stadium, just because we were all there together. And all of my other titles, I wasn't married to him yet. So it was pretty much the tip of my career, and being able to have him and our son there was pretty cool in such a grand venue. So
Yeah, for me, I bowled 206 last week in league, so I was pretty happy about that.
All right. So this question number 3 is just for.
Before you get to that one,
Yes, sir.
I want to say I remember when you won the U.S. Open because it was in the stadium and Mom actually bowled that event. It was hot in Dallas.
Very hot.
And it was like
hot.
100 degrees in every single bowling center. And I remember walking into one of the centers, because one of the centers that Junior Gold was at in Dallas was the same center that you guys bowled at. And I was like, wait, I've been here. This is where the U.S. Open was. Yeah, I remember that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to number 3. This one's just for Gary. Just for Gary.
Sure.
What would be more nerve-wracking, Gary? Needing a strike to win a regional, or watching Leanne need a strike to win a title?
It's always Leanne. It's
he bites his fingers off,
is.
his nails off.
I don't know if you know this about my amazing Hall of Fame wife, but her style lends itself to things can go wrong very quickly with her big curving of the ball and stuff. I'm like, oh man, come on.
He's never relaxed till it's over.
And honestly, though, yeah, it's very stressful to watch anyone. Like Justin would know that too. Like if it's him throwing a strike, be like, I'm gonna go throw a strike. But if he was watching his dad to win the U.S. Open, he would be more nervous. He would be there. It just feels it's nervous. It's a nervous time.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one.
But I want to add one more thing to that.
Please.
One more thing. The reason it's so nervous with her specifically for me is really because when she gets ready to compete, she trains for so long leading up to the competition. She puts in so much work. You know how you want something for someone that works hard at something? That's kind of where that comes from too, is that you know how hard they work at something. You want them to get some good results. So it is a little bit like that, it feels like.
Good answer, Gary. Way to get some brownie points there.
Thanks.
All right. Let's go to number 4. You're bowling a doubles event. So the first part of the doubles event would be a mixed doubles. The second part is same-sex doubles. Who are your partners for each respective event?
My favorite female partner, I'm going backwards. So mixed doubles, I would bowl with Parker anytime. I've never bowled with Parker before, but he's like my bowling idol. I love how he carries himself and his attitude, and I always say that Parker's my favorite bowler. And Kim Terrell Kearney and I have bowled a few fun little doubles tournaments, and she's a really good partner, and we have a lot of fun together. And so that's who I would bowl with.
Okay.
How about you? We cannot bowl together.
No, you can't bowl together.
We cannot.
Would this be like in a professional event? Can I ask?
You can
a high level.
You can pick the event, whatever one you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you gotta have fun when you bowl too. You gotta have fun. So
If it was just for fun, I would pick any of our SYC bowlers to bowl with because I just think they're so cool.
He would want it to be a junior adult tournament.
I would love it to be junior adult tournament. Just be able to bowl and have fun at this point in my life. If I had a bowl like with a professional bowler right now, I would go with Kelly Kulik on the ladies' side because she's just a world-class human being, and I think she's awesome. And on the men's side, I would probably I might go with Parker too.
I thought you were going to pick Kyle. You love Kyle.
I love Kyle Troop, but Parker's one of the guys that I think is just the legend that he's such a good person and he does so much for bowling. That it would be kind of like an honor just to do that. Yeah.
Justin, that is a good answer right there.
Yeah, I like that answer.
I like that answer. I'm not going to say anything more, but that's a good answer.
Yeah.
You know, Justin, at one time, your mom and I were roommates and stuff. So I was kind of around her and your dad a lot. And at one time, Parker and I had the same amount of titles. I think it was around 20. We might have had the same 20 when we both had 20. It was the same time, so we were always kind of challenging each other who could win more. And then the tour ended, and he just
now he has 100.
Went way past me. So it was a fun competition while it lasted, but that's just a funny little thing that Parker and I used to talk about.
Nice job, Parker. All right, number 5. What's your guys' favorite thing to do off the lanes or outside of the storm plant that takes your mind completely off of bowling in the industry?
Lately we've been doing a little golfing and a little tennis playing. We took a family tennis lesson about 3 weeks ago, and Gary's a good tennis player, and I have never really played tennis, and we wanted to get our son, kind of trying a few different sports. He plays football and basketball, and now we're going to the golf course to hit golf balls every night. It's right down the street from our house, so we do that, and we kind of take some Sunday drives once in a while around Utah. It's really pretty here, so we'll venture out and take some drives and go on a few hikes.
Nice.
So,
very nice.
Get out of the house a little bit. Yep.
Anything to get out of the house. I like that. Gary, anything to chime in there?
The only thing is really our son Barrett is pretty, he's a pretty neat kid, and he's full of life, so it's really nice just to be able to spend time with him.
Is he a bowler too, or no? Or is he an up and coming bowler?
He likes bowling, but if he was going bowling, it would be more like he would want to hang out with Justin and the crew.
He's a social kid.
He's so social. Yeah, he would just be like,
He's bowled the SYC before, and I forget that he's bowling because I'm working and stuff, and I go, oh crap, I better go check on him. And I'll go to his lanes, and he's not there because he's over on the girls' pair. So I'm like,
attaboy. Attaboy.
Attaboy.
All right, so let's go to 6. This one is a different one, Justin. Never asked this one before, and his name was just brought up. What looks better, Kyle Troop's fro or Belmo's beard?
I love both those guys, but Kyle's my guy. Kyle's my guy. So I'm going Kyle's fro.
Yeah, he loves Kyle.
Although Belmo's very good looking.
I'll go with Belmo. I like the dark look, so I'll go with Belmo.
All right, and we got one for the beard, one for the fro. Good answers there, Justin. Good answers. All right, number 7. Who is the most influential person you've had in your careers?
Wow.
I hate it when I stump our guests, Justin. I really do.
Wow, that's a very deep question.
See, we have some fun. We have some fun. We have some serious stuff. We try to touch on everything in the end here.
Yeah, you stumped them pretty good, Mike.
I'm sorry. It's not going to look good when I send my resume in tomorrow, Justin.
You know what? I have an answer that's kind of off the wall because I've had a lot of really great people, and I've learned from a lot. I've had a lot of, ball reps that have been very helpful in my career. But as far as something that has made an impact in my career and influenced me to change the way I thought about things was Joe Montana. And he's one of my favorite football players because I'm a San Francisco 49er fan. But I was in California one time, and I was watching the news. And this was probably after 5 or 6 years on tour. So I was probably 25 or 26. So I was still young. And he was doing an appearance at like a big toy store in San Francisco. And he was signing autographs for the kids, but he was not even looking at the kids. He didn't write their name. He just signed the picture and handed it. And he would never make eye contact with them or say thank you. It was just like he was trying to hurry through the whole thing. And I remember thinking I was so embarrassed because he was my favorite football player. And I thought, he's not even saying thank you or taking the time. And I'm sure that it was because it was so overwhelming and there were so many people. But it really made an impact on my career to be sure to thank people when they would ask me for my autograph, and I would take more time and I would get to know people and ask them their name and really thank them. So in a weird way, that's one person who influenced, my career.
That's a good one. That's a very good story there. And that goes back to what you said before about making relationships in the business and just meeting people and always respectful of everybody you come across.
Yep.
Yeah, you never know who you're going to meet.
Exactly. What about you, Gary?
How about you?
Don't say Leanne.
So is this an industry person? I missed that.
I just said who? No, just like an influential person that's influenced your career.
Yeah, business-wise, it's Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs and Apple is. I love the innovation. I love the thought process of being different and thinking differently, and always constantly striving to be better. And in the industry, Bill Crispin is definitely a guy that's like that. He is very rarely satisfied with anything, and so that does have some push, and that I like people like that are very driven and focused.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's go to 8. This is a good one, Justin. So
Okay.
as we know, Storm does the hot sauce spare shooting Wheel of Death challenges. When will we see a Hulsenberg hot sauce spare shooting contest?
You know, I was supposed to do one. We had a couple pro staff come through, and I was supposed to do one. And I think it was Lenny Borish and I were going to do one when he was here, and then his trip got canceled because he had to head home. So I haven't done one yet, but yeah.
And I won't do one.
He won't do one. He only likes one kind of salsa, and he will never.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not doing the Wheel of Death.
No,
salsa.
he's not up for that.
That's not happening.
No.
I will do it, but
Okay.
I just wait till I'm asked, and I don't really like try to jump in on things. So one day.
Okay. So 9. What is your favorite scented Storm bowling ball? You guys have some good ones. What is your favorite
not
one?
Not performance-wise, just the scent.
Yeah, just the scent.
It was the Crossroad. It was when I first joined Storm staff, and it was like maple or cinnamon roll or maple. It was like I would stay on the approach much longer with that ball in front of me because I was like, this ball smells great. And then I also like the Modern Marvel because it had a like a eucalyptus, some sort of smell. But those were two of my favorites.
All right.
I like the IQ Tour, the gold one. It was butterscotch. And I loved it because the smell, and I loved it because Leanne really loved that ball. And so every time she could get it in her hand, she would strike more. So it
sounds like nothing to do with the smell.
It sounds like West from the other day, Justin.
Yeah.
So to go to like 9A really quick, can I suggest 2 cents?
Yeah, and I bet you
one bacon?
And one of them's bacon.
No.
Everyone says bacon.
No, I am not going to say bacon.
What you got?
Should we have you guess? Because they both start with P.
Well, I already said it, Justin, but I'm an idiot. I said it.
Peanut butter.
Popcorn.
Oh, popcorn would be great.
No, peanut butter you probably couldn't do. And when I met Gary over the summer, Gary said peanut butter is not good because of the allergy, right? They can't have any peanut.
And I didn't understand that. The smell would affect someone's allergies, but I think it does. So you can't. Yeah, we had something like planned, and they said we couldn't do it. So
popcorn. I mean, you walk into a movie theater, the first thing you smell is popcorn.
And it always smells good.
Absolutely. And what about like a pizza scented ball? Pizza has a distinct scent. I mean, that's being from New Jersey and New York. You know, we're always big on the pizza scene. So
like bakery, like a pizza dough, like a smell of pizza.
Yeah, something different, right? See, Gary, I bring things to the table. This is I'm being different.
This is what you do.
Should it be like yellow with like burgundy polka dots, like a pepperoni pizza, like polka dotted?
Something like that, or like a yellow ball, like kernels, like little brown kernels. You know?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll go tell Steve Klumpkin. He's in the office next to us. He does all the scents and stuff. So I'll put a good word in for you.
This is fantastic, Justin. We're making progress. I'm making strides already. This is great.
This is how I'll make things happen.
This is how I make things happen. So this is my last one. I know we had some fun. We joked around a little bit on a serious note. What's the best advice you could give to a junior bowler who's Justin's age that wants to pursue bowling as their career, not the industry, but as the actual game, and be a professional bowler? What's the best advice you would give a 17-year-old?
You want to go first?
Yeah, so like everything in life, it's work ethic, right? So you've got to work hard at whatever your craft is, whatever your chosen profession is going to be. But Leanne touched on something too. You just got to be a nice human being, I think, too. And not in today's environment, there's just a large group of people that are on staff, or we get staff requests all the time. They're like, hey, I want to be on your staff. And we're like, oh, cool. What is it that you like about us? And they're like, well, I've never thrown one of your balls. And we're like, So why, we're a family. So like,
Mhm.
why do you want to join our family, but you don't know anything about our family? That's kind of odd to an odd request, I guess. So work hard and listen to coaches that are trying to help you, and be kind to your playing competitors, such as Justin and his friends are when I watch them bowl at tournaments. And that's going to go a long way, because college coaches are back there watching all the time, and they pick up on what type of team player you are. And as you go through college, obviously you're gaining more experience for potentially the pro tour. So it's kind of like, if you're a youth bowler, learn, get better, make friends, be good to people. Don't trash other brands that aren't your favorite. Be kind, and keep working.
Yeah, and I think I always tell people, because everyone, has their dream, and I would never tell someone not to do something, regardless of how talented they are. If it's your dream, then you got to go for it. So work hard, go to college. So if you're a kid, you go to college first. You get great experience. Many of you will get your college paid for by your bowling talent or by bowling scholarships that you've gotten in the, your youth years. So definitely go to college. When you come out and try the tour, you got to try it for like 2 years. The first year is going to be hard, and you're going to learn things, and you might get pummeled and you might not do well. But while you're out there getting pummeled, make sure that you learn. Just don't bowl the tournament, whatever happens, and then go on to the next week. Like, figure out what happened that week and what you could have done differently, and learn from the people out there. Ask questions. There are people who want to help. But go for the full year and bowl everything that you can, and then try it again the next year. Go home and learn, go home and work on what you were bad at. So many people will just practice their A game. And every day at lunch, when I go downstairs and practice, I'm playing the gutter, because I can't play the gutter, and I'm terrible at playing straight up the gutter on the flat patterns. So I'm always over there practicing what I'm crappy at. So practice harder than everyone else, and practice what you're not good at.
Justin, good advice. They survived my final 10. That wasn't so bad now, was it?
No.
No.
That's like a pop quiz, though. That's hard.
I'm sorry. And when we have like touring guys on there, we have a staple bunch of questions that we ask, and we cater these to you guys. But thank you. You guys survived. They were awesome answers and good advice, and great advice for everybody else. Justin, I am good.
I think we're good. I'm going to say thank you. We had a blast for an hour and what looks like 3 minutes.
Yep.
It was a really good
talk
time.
a lot. Sorry.
Hey, we like people that talk a lot.
Yes, we do. But guys, thank you very much for giving us some time. Great show, and good luck with SYC in a couple weeks. Fantastic.
Thanks.
And
Thank you.
Justin, I'm good. And Gary, you're going to have my resume in your inbox tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
But Gary does owe me a trip to the plant. I did beat Matt McNeil in trivia, so I am owed a trip to the plant. Eventually, eventually, once we're
when
listed,
you can travel.
Correct. Yeah. But no, and I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. You guys are great, and it's people like you that make the industry really good. And we need more Gary Leanne Hulsenbergs in the business, Justin. I think that's a safe thing to say.
Yeah, we definitely do.
You guys too.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for doing the show. Thanks for doing the cool shows.
Thank you.
We're trying, and we will watch the Morning Bolt, and we'll watch the Beat the Bolt, and maybe we'll get on there one day, Justin. We can beat the Bolt
one day.
One day.
We'd love to have you guys.
Hey, you make it happen, and we'll be there. But guys, thank you very much. Stay safe, and all the best to everybody out in Utah.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
That's going to wrap up our show today. Thank you so much, Leanne and Gary Hulsenberg, for joining us.
See you in a couple weeks, Justin. Thanks.
Will do. All right, guys. See you guys on the next one.
Oh, and really quick, if they're still there, what's the answer to the first bowling ball that was sent by storm? Do we know the answer, Gary?
I have no idea.
No, I didn't Google it.
No, well, all right then.
You got to Google it.
No, I know the answer, so I'm sorry. The answer is the original eraser, and it was
what was the scent?
Orange citrus.
We've done a few of those. We have a new ball coming out that has orange citrus. I can't tell you what it is, but it has orange citrus.
You heard it there first. Breaking news: orange citrus coming up. But again, guys, thank you very much for the time, and we will definitely see you guys soon.
All
Okay,
right.
take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Bye.
All right,
Thanks.
bye, guys. Justin, we are done.
Yes, we are.
All right, so there it is. That was the answer to the question. We will see everybody Monday.
Yes, we will. See you guys Monday.
We will notify our winners tomorrow. And until then, everybody, stay safe. And Justin, I think we're good, right? They have left the studio. If you want to say anything else, we have a couple of seconds here.
All right. If you guys are watching on Facebook, be sure to like and follow the page. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. See us next week on Monday. We have Tim Mack versus Chuck Gardner in the first round of our trivia contest. We cannot wait for that one. Every day next week, 6 o'clock, Monday to Friday. You won't want to miss it.
You won't want to miss it. And we will notify our contestants probably tomorrow and what the schedule will be for them for next week. So we'll do all that. We'll iron out the logistics of that tomorrow. And once again, the I guess the advice that I can give, Justin, to the contestants is be ready, because I wrote the questions. You have approved them. Have you shown your dad the questions or no?
No, I need to do that.
Maybe you should show Dad the questions. They're pretty good, but brush up on your PBA knowledge and your USBC knowledge, and that's the best advice I can give. But we're going to have a lot of fun next week.
Yep.
And we will have a shirt and tie on one day next week.
Yes, one day.
One day. All right. You have an award ceremony to go to. I got some grilling to do. We will convene on Monday with everybody again.
Yep. See you guys on Monday.
Bye, everybody.